very limited resources. I completely relied on your videos only. In YouTube also, that much the content we get for CAT is not available for law-based entrance exam. That too for
Yeah.
3-year LLB. So I mostly relied on your videos for CUET and HC. It means what are the exams, entrance exams are there, how to study for that. Just it's changed the pattern into 2023. So we
Hmm.
were not sure on how they come up with the questions. So I took your mock, ma'am. So I would
Yeah.
say it's exactly the same level which we had in CUET
Hmm.
2024. All questions
Hmm.
were exactly same level, not different differences, ma'am.
Harini Srinivasan has secured 219 marks in the CUET PG examination. She's here with us to share with you guys her journey and the tips that she has to share. Something very important to note from her journey is that she repeatedly kept giving the mocks and she felt that many of the questions landed from the mocks directly. So listen to her intently. Plus, it was her first and last chance to appear for this examination. And look how she made it for this examination. And I expect you guys to get inspired. Hi guys, I'm Ayushi, your mentor for law-based examinations, and welcome to Law Digest. Let's welcome Harini on the platform. Hi
Yes, ma'am.
Harini, welcome to the channel. Tell us something about yourself. Why did you plan to choose to do law?
Ma'am, I am Harini Srinivasan. I am from Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. I did my bachelor's in chemical engineering, and actually in my initial years in engineering, I chose to do MBA. But I just got away from the stream because in my third year I was preparing for MBA, but later I thought that this is not my field of work where I should not be. And my brother supported me heavily on that. He asked me to do law, and that it's just how it happened. And
Okay.
I also chose CUET as my main preference because my I had this restriction from my parents that if you want to do something, do it in one attempt. We are not going to do other attempts. Since this syllabus was very related to the MBA one, I thought
Okay.
I should concentrate on this. Yes, ma'am.
All right, okay. So when did you start preparing for CUET?
In my fourth year, ma'am, first I was skeptical whether I could do this law or not. I was interested in this or not. So I wanted first figure it out. Am I really interested in that? So I read a couple of books like the cases that India forgot by Chintan
Mm-hmm.
Chandrachud,
Yeah.
and the no that like the similar lines, 20 criminal cases that shook India. So I thought, oh yeah, I still couldn't figure it out.
It's lying in my bookshelf.
Yes, ma'am. So still I don't know are the cases interesting or the law, but I this is interesting field. I think I should do than the routine conventional MBA degree. I thought it's better to do, and we may empower ourselves. I'm also this timorous kind of a personality, and I thought law will make me more confident. Yeah, ma'am. And my brother highly supported on that, but my parents were so restricted where
Okay.
they were not accepting that, at initial stages. But my brother supported heavily. We are doing something unconventional, let it be, no problem. Yeah.
Okay, so they
So
have a problem with the fact that it is a little unconventional.
yeah, that's okay. Nobody from our family was first. I will be the first in. So whether it will be good or not, whether I will be able to do it or not, that was a big problem.
Some females also face this issue in their families that, if you will do law, nobody will marry you. Things like those are also there.
Yeah, yes, yeah, definitely, definitely. We because we may they may worry that we become more independent, and we may
Yeah.
boast on
We will
having our
start questioning.
yeah, that's what they have in their
Yeah.
minds.
I've also
So I
had a
was
similar sort of experience, which is why I'm saying this, because even I faced resistance from my family initially regarding
yes,
this doing law, the whole marriage issue behind it.
yes,
I was also planning to do MBA only initially, but
yes,
then
ma'am. Because
law
that is
interested me.
conventional.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
conventional.
yeah,
Everyone
exactly.
and they come up with this lucrative salary that MBA offers. Once
Yeah, yeah,
we thinking about that, it's a bit difficult journey, I would say.
yeah.
No,
That
yes, ma'am.
corporate picture is shown to you, but
Yes, ma'am.
to me, to look back, I feel really blessed that I chose law as a career field because I don't see myself being a corporate slave because
Yes, ma'am.
law gives you
Definitely.
another power altogether.
Yes, ma'am. Even that was that my brother said me, if you study law, later you may have an independent counsel. You may reach to that level where you have credit for your own work. Whereas in corporate, if you became corporate, that one you could not have the credit for the work you have done.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's motivated me that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So, coming back to your CUET PG preparation, what is
Yes.
the study material or books that you used for your preparation?
Ma'am, for quantitative aptitude, R.S. Agarwal, I relied mainly on the example part. So I would practice the examples twice so that all the model, I will be covering all the models. So if we understand how to solve that model, in maybe a question different, we can understand. It's easy to do that. And for logical reasoning also, R.S. Agarwal is sufficient, ma'am, for CUET
Okay.
PG level. It will not, questions are not as cat level. It's a bit easy. So I would say this for it's enough, ma'am. It's more than enough indeed. And for static GK was most confusing part, I would say, because we have no idea on which part they would be asking the questions. So I do not have a proper resource for static GK. I relied on YouTube. Since we have this topics, right, books and authors, then I would search on YouTube and Google that what are the important books and authors which is frequently asked. So
Yeah.
that was my static important task. Geography, which and constitution I read LexisNexis, that book, Indian Polity. That was good, ma'am. Even because as a law students, we have to have a good grip on the constitution part. Unfortunately, this time, very few, no, I would say,
No
questions were asked on the
questions landed
constitution.
up. Yeah.
Questions are asked on the computers. Arihant, objective computers would do good enough, ma'am. Yeah.
All right.
And English SP Bakshi is the best, ma'am. We had the one word substitutions directly from SP Bakshi books in the exam. It was very helpful.
Yeah. And current affairs?
Current affairs, I would daily read the newspaper. And for any important judgments, I would look to your video, and all the legal current affairs you would cover up in your Instagram pages and YouTube. I would rely on that, reading that, and it gives a lot of enjoyment. Reading the judgment, what happened, what transpired, and the events, and what led to that judgment. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And actually, the problem with CUET was just it's changed the pattern in 2023. So we were not sure on how would they come up with the questions. So I took your mock, ma'am. So I would say it's exactly the same level which we had in CUET 2024. All questions were exactly same level, not different. Yes, ma'am. Much.
Yeah. Each year, that's also a big task for us to, look at the past year paper and see what
Yes,
plans
ma'am.
will they come out with this year and drag our brains through it. So we have a full brainstorm session before, making those mocks to understand that what exactly should be the questions that are to be put.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Harini, what was your daily routine like when you were preparing? How much time were you able to devote? And what understanding did you gather about this examination? That if we have to clear this examination,
Yes,
how
ma'am.
do we go about it?
Ma'am, I started this exam for getting the resources. There is very limited resources. I completely relied on your videos only. In YouTube also, that much the content we get for CAT is not available for law-based entrance exam. That too for 3-year LLB. So I mostly relied on your videos for CUET, MHC. It means what are the entrance exams are there, how to study for that. First resources I started building in August. But later I started studying on mid-September, but I had my exams, final year exams. And it was a bit inconsistent. And from December 1, I prepared consistently for completely devoted my time for CUET. Every day I would read the paper, and 1 hour for each and every subject I would do, like for computer, 1 hour, and 1 hour for quants, logical. Until the March, I was determined if I should give only one attempt, because that's what I was having in my hand, and it should.
Okay. And plus, I think since you're from the science background, you have a sort of edge when it comes to maths and logical reasoning, because
Yes, ma'am,
you must be
definitely.
well versed with it. Because
Yes, ma'am,
sometimes there are students who find R.S. Agarwal also very tough, because maths
Yes,
and
ma'am.
logical reasoning is Greek and
Yeah.
Roman people, most of them, because they're
Yes,
not
ma'am.
able to
Yes, ma'am.
understand even through the books that why is the author coming from this particular step to the other step, how does that
Yeah.
happen? People get confused with those
Yes.
calculations. Although,
Yes, ma'am.
it's very disturbing that in a law entrance exam, maths to this level is asked.
Yeah.
Which does not make that much of sense. But
Sense. Yes, ma'am. DULLB was most Indian polity based, and that
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
But I feel something good happened in my case where I could do better in terms of this trans logical
Yeah,
than the
worked.
Indian
Yeah,
polity
it
things.
worked as a blessing
Yes.
in disguise for you then.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. In any case, we also had to, look up for maths reasoning faculty, and then Chetan sir had come and we had
Yes,
this.
ma'am. Yeah. Yes, sir used to teach very good, and I would say the statement arguments part, what sir taught was superb, extremely
Yeah,
superb, I would say. So how
yeah,
would we correctly choose that the correct option? Though it was, I wouldn't say it is difficult, but it's a bit tricky, ma'am. That statement argument, statement conclusion, but
yeah,
we are prone to choose the wrong answer in that
yeah,
area.
yeah,
So
correct.
in that, sir gave us a pathway on how to choose which is more apt. That was
Yeah,
really helpful.
yeah. We had those live sessions before the exam. I think you'd watch those.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Sessions.
definitely. Yes, ma'am.
So, at the mocks, you said that you were already practicing the mocks with us. So,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
was your journey of the mocks? How were you performing? What did you understand from the mocks? And how many mocks did you actually take in order to, reach
Ma'am,
the 10 to 19 score that you got?
I took all the 10 mocks before going to exam, and I revisited all the mocks also before going to the exam. So I thought it's very exactly the same that's going to appear. And uh, in mocks, I was scoring above 200, below 250. But the thing is, this exam is, ma'am, we are prone to make wrong answers. The questions are not very difficult, but it's a
Hmm.
bit tricky. We had spelling also in we will be confused. It's a single R or double R, like in RI. So it's just small mistakes we are prone to make.
Yeah,
So we have to be meticulous, be calm, and then answer. It would be
yeah.
fine. Yes, ma'am. Regarding the examination pattern, I wouldn't say it is very difficult. It was very easy. It's a moderate level. We have
Hmm.
to be a little. We have to give little care while answering the questions.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is why in mocks, we intentionally
Yes,
give
ma'am.
you those confusing questions.
Close 20. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
you're prepared for the final day.
Yes.
So, Harini, were there any challenges that came your way while you were preparing for the exam?
As I said, static GK, I couldn't guess from where the questions would be asked and how the pattern would be. This static GK part, I felt it's a bit difficult, ma'am, because there are many resources to go, which would be perfect. We don't know. I read important things like UN organizations from you have your YouTube videos on that, and Arihan's book, and each year they would be releasing the short book Arihan. I read that very briefly, not
Hmm.
in detail, so that I could have this familiarize with the options at least. Even though if I may not be recollecting the exact thing, but if I may familiarize. That's what static GK was my difficult part, I would say.
Okay, okay.
For engineering students, I would say
Ah,
static GK part would be
yeah, yeah.
difficult.
Okay, okay. So, Harini, what's your take about this examination? Like we've understood your strategy and the sources you used. How did you go about it? What's your final take for the students as to the final tips that they should keep in mind while preparing for this examination?
I would say I would say be patient, be calm while answering. Do not panic. Do not feel tense. We will have ample time in our hands to solve all the questions. Prepare. I would say visit all the topics. Do not go very deep into it.
Hmm.
Like uh, means where I would what I mean is most difficult questions would not be asked. It will be in the moderate level only. So it's not to waste time by solving very high
Hmm.
standard questions in case of quants or reasoning. Uh, Even in English part also, they would ask basic grammar, this grammar things and all. Be calm, and that day actually matters the most. We have means actually my case was the on first mock I was taking, I was very tense, ma'am. But after taking 10 mocks, I was a bit chill. While going to the exam also, I was what we have done mocks. It will be nearly same way. It's not be much more deviated from that. So when you take mocks, I would really suggesting taking your mocks because we'll get a blueprint of how the questions will be. Are we able to do it? The time we are how much
Hmm.
time we are able to do it faster. So
Hmm.
where should we revisit? It gives an idea. So be calm that day. It would be the it's not a very difficult thing. It would go aram se, I would say.
All right. So, go around say is your
Uh,
tagline for this examination.
yes, ma'am.
All right. Harini, it was great hearing from you, and I'm sure the students must have gathered a lot of insights from your strategy as well. Thank you for taking out time and being here and sharing your strategy. We wish you all the very best for your future.
Thank you so much. Your guide, I would say, since we had limited resources for this, especially 3-year law-based entrance exam, we could highly rely on you. That's what I would say.